We are live with Larry Graves. I don't know where everybody else is. They'll be here in a minute. I got to get things set up here for a second. Oh, we got Alex too. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. We're live, Alex.
I don't want to talk to Alex.
I don't want to talk to Larry.
You guys chat while I get my thing together here.
What's new, Alex?
Actually, no, I do want to talk to Larry. And let me tell you why, Larry.
I did not do it. Those are just vicious rumors going around the internet.
Well, I was going to talk about that part later, but I bought 3 Residence records over the past week or so.
Wow.
We were talking about, I mean, their discography is out of control. So it was like, where to go? But it was funny because I was in one of my local shops and I went to the store owner and I was like, help me. Like, what do you think? Because they had a pretty good selection of used stuff there. So I got I guess it's technically I got the first 3. So I got the debut, the Third Reich, and is it Fingerprints maybe?
Yeah, I don't have that one. That's the 3rd one.
Yeah. So I've listened to 2 of. I mean, it's it's like I'm not a smoker, but I feel like I need a cigarette. Like I'm just like,
or maybe a funny cigarette.
Yeah, that would, yeah. So yeah, it's been quite the.
It's I will say I like on the first listen for any of their albums. It's like I don't know about this, and then every listen you just get more into it, I guess.
Are you talking about the Residents?
Yeah. But I will say, I don't know about, Glenn's going to be reviewing the album. He might not like it, but I will say their album Demons Dance Alone from 2002 is more accessible?
Accessible, yeah.
Without me giving away my review, I would say you're right.
Yeah, but it's still
the
weird.
vocals and the harmonies and stuff are more pop oriented.
But it's still weird.
It's still very weird.
Yeah,
in a poppy kind of way.
Yeah, but it's you were mentioning this one on one of your exchanges, or Larry, when you were doing some videos on that. It's like I'm coming from I love Zappa. I love early Zappa too. I mean, I think like when I was listening to those 2 records, I was getting like Uncle Meat, 200 Motels type Zappa, not obviously the fusion stuff and not even the psychedelic stuff, but the very noise type avant stuff. But I love that stuff, and there's a lot of like Trout Mask Replica type stuff in there. So I am coming in from a little bit of experience doing that stuff.
The other one I have, Duck Stab. It's another one that it's really good.
Yeah, that's the one a lot of people say is like the greatest place to start. So
yeah, I like that one. I got to see who's here.
Is here.
John's humming. I wonder if he's humming Sam St. John from in the hair salon. I think he is. Hey, Barry. Christopher. The Doors debut isn't overrated. I don't think it is either. I'm just saying that you hear that comment a lot, that it is overrated. That's why I picked those albums that I picked, because not necessarily I thought they were all overrated. I just think that when I'm, especially on the Steve Hoffman forums, you see a lot of opinions, and that those ones come up a lot. I hear the Doors one in videos a lot that people think it's overrated.
My cat is outside. I kicked my cat outside. It's an outdoor
cat. We're outdoor cats. Oh, that's funny. Larry and I were on a live chat on the weekend, and this guy kept challenging Larry about why he doesn't let his cat outside.
I like to have my cat stay alive.
Bill Sharkey or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good evening, Jerome. The Doors debut is my favorite Doors album, Cardboard Head guy. I love the Boston self-titled a lot too. I like that too, but the problem is every other Boston album sounds like that one. Like if you have that one, you have them all. Hi all. Hi, Ralph. Jazzy Panda Husky. Look at those handsome gentlemen.
It's me.
I just heard a little of the Residents, but they remind me of Sparks. Hi, Glenn, Alex, and Larry. Hi, Marcia.
I got your back, Marsha. It was before Rob joined.
Behave yourself. Great video on Dirty Honey, Alex. I haven't
Hey,
watched
thanks,
that.
Michael. I saw your comment. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
How long was it? How long was it?
The video?
Yeah.
It was about 11 minutes. It was a
Oh,
concert
that's
review.
short. That's like a short for you.
I thought the sweet spot for me is 10 to 12 minutes, I will say.
Jerome wondered where my Jerry Garcia poster is. I don't know. I've been in a Bob state of mind recently. Jerry's in the other room though. Cool. Oh, there's Mr. St. John there.
Oh,
Wow.
he's drinking.
Hey.
Busy day at the hair salon.
Sam in 4K. Nah, 1K.
That's my little tech joke there. Yeah.
I got that.
Thank you. Yeah.
The Music Sanctuary. Good evening. Good evening. Wow. I think we're going to review our favorite kind of things that happened in what is this? I have Glenn's Garcia poster. We're going to talk about general look back on 2023, maybe favorite albums we picked up, concerts we went to, any musical moments at all related to the VC or to music in general that are highlights for us personally. I think that's going to be the topic for the evening. Everyone's doing well. Rob is very quiet.
Yeah, Rob's fine. I've
I'm
seen
not
how long I
used to
could go
quiet.
on a live stream without talking.
That sometimes there are people who go on and are like that. You
Yes.
notice that? In some of them?
Yeah. I've had them on my channel. It's like, why did you request to come on and then you just sit there?
Or there are times you get invited onto some and certain people monopolize the time and don't let anyone else talk.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just use the name Glenn as an example. Like it doesn't it's not somebody that we know.
No,
just
no.
throw a name out there. Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't know when to shut up. Glenn.
Where is our other Canadian friend?
He's coming. He's a few minutes late from work.
Oh, that's right.
I listened to Jackson Brown's Pretender for the first time. Why did it take me so long? But
I don't know, John.
It's a great album. I don't even think that's his best of. Have you listened to Late for the Sky or For Every Man or the first one? I mean, they're even better.
Yeah.
I listened to Blue Rodeo Outskirts album. I enjoyed. My favorite song is probably Heart Like Mine. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's the one song that when they remixed it in 2012, they changed that dramatically. Greg got rid of the original intro to that.
I don't understand why he did that.
Do you like I like it with the intro.
Yeah.
I like both. I love
me
both.
too, because it's a great song.
Yeah, I love both. I like it with the sort of the double harmony intro, because when they do that live, I've seen do it many times. Greg and Jim walk out to the front of the stage in front of the microphones and they just sing it a cappella, no microphones, no nothing, and it's beautiful. And I love that, but I also love Greg's remix because it sort of brings it out of 1987 and makes it a little more relevant.
Yeah.
But they're both great.
They are great.
Not my favorite song on the album by any means.
It would be hard to do anything to wreck that album. It's such a classic.
It's damn near perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
Like me.
Like yourself, Sam.
Right. Yeah.
Your hair is looking exceptionally nice tonight. Were you in the hair salon today?
It's been probably about 6 weeks since I've been. I need to go back.
That goddamn song of yours, Glenn.
It's sticking in I singing it.
Jesus,
constantly.
I walk around my house singing it.
I am doing it. My wife's doing it.
Yep.
Like she woke up this morning saying, "I can't get Sam St. John in the hair salon out of my head,"
which is hilarious because I've never met your lovely wife, so it's hilarious.
I almost want to take that, and I want to almost make like a short music video out of it.
You can just call it a short movie.
Well, be my guest.
All right.
You can do what you want with it.
Put it on TikTok or something, and then give me all the money.
Yeah.
Because Glenn's not going to give me any.
Let me be the first to say Taylor Swift. But,
She may
there
come
you
up in this evening's discussion a few times.
Oh,
get
dear
that
Lord.
out of the way. So I don't know. We should wait for Jason or let him catch up with us.
Let him catch up.
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
we're just-
I think he's right here.
We're just shooting the breeze.
I hate this. They end up the way my screen goes with everybody on the bottom. Then the sixth person always ends up in the corner behind, and I can't access the.
Can you
There
make
we
yours-
got him.
Got him? Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, okay,
Stranger.
got it.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Beautiful.
Jason.
Hello, the late Jason Arsenault.
Sorry. I was so excited to be here, though.
I
Trust
know,
me,
We're glad to have you. Every time you're always got an excuse why you can't come on.
it's always work, but I took off early so I could be here tonight to see Sam's beautiful face, and Alex too, and then the stud muffin, and then the other guys.
And the
Larry will appreciate this. When Jason shows up late, there's a quote from A Mighty Wind where Fred Willard is talking about the Main Street Singers, and he says, one of our founding members has died, but he's here with us tonight anyway. That's Jason.
Oh man,
what do we got? Sam with the hair and sweater. You were going for a Glenn Campbell Xmas thing tonight.
I am a lineman, and I'm in a
Or
county.
Perry Como, maybe. Get the Perry Como look.
If I was Glenn
Before
Campbell,
the year,
I'd
I
be
owned no
married now,
Monkeys
we'll
albums. I'm proud to say I now own all of them. Wow.
Well, I don't even own all of them, believe it or not.
Canada 4, US 2 in panel game. We like that.
Almost like a hockey game. 4-2.
And if it's me and Alex going up against anybody, we've definitely lost.
Wow.
I mean,
Alex
Yeah,
has
you
the
guys
height. I've got the something. I don't even know what.
You guys are outnumbered tonight. There's no doubt about it.
I
You
do have a
are.
hockey stick in my office, so we're good.
Rob, did you get your Sheryl Crow TNMC?
Tuesday Night Music Club. It's in my stack that we're going to talk about tonight, John.
Okay,
You
awesome.
ruined the video, John, by getting Rob to spoil himself.
Okay, so everybody's got a few musical highlights of the year, whether it's records or concerts or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Rob, why don't you get started?
Well, since John brought it up, I might as well lead with it. We're not ranking these in order of preference.
Yeah,
are we?
I don't know. You can do it however you want.
Okay. Because obviously the biggest thing for me this year is the Beatles, but we're not going to talk about that. So Sheryl Crow's Tuesday Night Music Club at long last on vinyl. I've wanted this forever. It was never pressed in the 90s, came out on Record Store Day in I think 2015, and I wasn't able to find one. And I know a few people that have them. I think John has one, Chance has one, David from Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion has one, and it's a $250 record or more easily. And I'm like, I give up on finding it. So they announced that on the 30th anniversary, they were going to re-release Tuesday Night Music Club. So they did, remastered by Bernie Grundman, I believe, from the original tapes. There's a black vinyl version. There's a colored vinyl version, which this is. They made it into a gatefold. Thrilled to finally have this. This is, ton of hits on this album. Leaving Las Vegas, Strong Enough, Can't Cry Anymore, All I Want to Do, I Shall Believe. And this was Cheryl's breakout album. And so it was on my grail list, and while I'm never going to get a Record Store Day one, I'm quite happy with this, and truthfully, it probably sounds better anyway because it's a remaster. So essentially, you cross a highly sought-off record off my want list. So
Beautiful. Can I ask a question about that in general?
yeah.
What does that do to impact the worth of an OG copy of that album when they reissue a great reissue of it? Like,
I don't think very much, because the
people would still pay $250 for an original.
I think so, because the people that want it, there are still the demand for people that want that OG pressing. And I'm going to do a twofer here because this illustrates your point. Another one that was on my list forever and ever and ever was the Goo Goo Dolls' Dizzy Up the Girl. which came out again in the 90s. They did a record store day press a couple years ago, and the original press was in like 2015, and I could never afford one for the longest time. Well, this is an OG from 2015. It's the first press. They go for like $250 in Canada if you can find one. They're crazy expensive. I got a wicked deal on this and paid a fraction of that. They have since released it this year. Again, same as the Sheryl Crow, like a 30th anniversary. So if you really want Dizzy Up the Girl, you can get it. But I've noticed in the last 6 months that the pricing on the originals are still what they were pre-original. So I don't really care. I got this I would have been fine with the reissue, but I was able to get such a sweet deal on it. So I don't really think it jeopardizes it that much, because the people that want the OG are still willing to pay to get it.
The collectors more than the listeners, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
The listeners have always said, I'm not paying $200, screw it. But the people that want it, like, yeah, I'll pay $200 for it.
Yeah. Wow.
Broadway's dark tonight.
Yeah.
You used to be.
You do it almost as well as Johnny Resnick.
Okay, Sam,
better
you're
than
gonna go
Johnny.
backwards.
It's almost as good as his Kid Rock. Yeah.
Where you going, Sam?
Be easy. Rob loves Kid Rock. All right?
Where you going, Sam?
Where you going, Sam? Where you heading?
Where you headed?
I'm not even gonna play.
Come on, Sam.
I'm not even gonna play. Okay. So this is something that I haven't shown on my channel yet, because I just got it on Saturday, and I think Glenn is going to be the most excited to see this thing. So I was visiting my buddy Tommy over the weekend. We did a live stream on his channel, Tommy's Musical Adventures, and I left his home early Sunday morning. I was visiting another friend before I was heading home. And I stopped by Harvest Records in Asheville, which is a great store. If you've never been to Asheville, Harvest is the place to go. I know Art, the North Carolina vinyl picker, that's his main store, if you know his channel. But I was in there. I'd already bought a few records the day before, and I wasn't looking for anything. But I go to my, the usual suspects kind of areas, and I find this white record. And at the top there, you can't really see it. I'm going to block that for a second. It says Advanced Pressing PAC, and then it's got a serial number. Now, if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a big Michael Nesmith fan. And PAC is Pacific Arts, which was his record label that he founded. And somebody, the previous owner of this record, had written on here. So this isn't original, but unfortunately somebody wrote on the record. It says Michael Nesmith Live at the Palais. That was a live album that Michael Nesmith came out with in the 70s. And this is an advanced pressing copy of that record. I have no idea how many copies were made. I called Tommy back at his home. He'd never seen it. And I mean, it's clean as can be. It's on, white label. It says Michael Nesmith Live at the Palais.
Wow.
He's got Propinquity's on here. Joanne is on here. Silver Moon, some of Shelley's Blues. It's a really, really good record.
That's a very cool find.
I already have a copy thanks to Chris Prokey. He gave me a double that he had with the original artwork. But and I'm not one to collect records, but I found this thing. It was $15, and if you look on Discogs, I mean, it's it's worth about $40 on Discogs, so they say. But for like a collector of Nesmith stuff like that, I think that's just pretty daggone cool. Despite the the handwritten note here from the previous owner, and it was $15, and it was just sitting there, unassumingly in the in section. So I haven't listened to it yet. I don't really need to listen to it because I have the actual record, but to have this is really, really cool. So this was a really cool musical moment that just happened to me on Sunday. So
yeah, very cool. I got this was funny. Sheryl Crow, Taylor Swift, Goo Goo Dolls. I didn't know Walmart had a soccer mom section in their album.
Throwing some Nickelback, yeah.
Of course, Rob wants him banned now.
Ban him.
Hope Jason needs a vowel in his last name.
Jason Mraz. He's a Virginia boy.
I can't.
Is he? Oh, I didn't know that.
He's from
there's a big A in his name.
I think the M should be silent. Should just be Jason Raz.
Razzmatazz. Yeah.
Because that ends.
Razzle dazzle.
Okay. Jason, you're up to bat, buddy.
Okay, so this is a big deal this year, a big deal that just happened. I actually did an Instagram post. It was less of a music news thing and more of just a personal grail for sure. And that was I feel like I've showed every one of these albums on like live streams, but whatever, here we go again. So this is that Leo Kottke album that I just got.
Nice. That's a good album.
It is so good. I found out about this guy because I was going to a fingerstyle guitarist named Don Ross. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. Canadian guy, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, so he was in Halifax, and I was going to the show, and I was all excited. I ended up stopping in at just like a regular music store, and just happened to come up in conversation with a guy that was working. He says, "Oh, if you like his stuff, check out Leo Kottke was a name. Adrian Legg was another leg.
Adrian Legg, yeah, another
yeah,
one.
never really looked into him, but anyway, I fell in love with Kottke and been kind of half-ass following his career ever since. And he did a lot of work with the bassist from Fish there, Mike Gordon. They did a couple albums together, and everything the guy does is awesome. Like in my view, right? Like his style is great. And when I was digging up more info about him when I was doing the post, it was like really interesting. Like the guy had such a unique style of picking his guitar that he actually developed like a severe tendonitis to the point that he mid-show would have problems playing, and so he had to totally reinvent his style. Like, so guitarists like Sam would probably appreciate how hard it would be to change the way you do certain chords and perform certain functions anyway. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing, like for a guy who was so well established, especially when you're known for being an excellent musician, to have to totally change the way you do it. Anyway, that's all a big long story to go nowhere. But otherwise, this is his, I believe, his second album, and it's called 6 and 12 string guitar, and that's all it is, just an instrumental of him doing some crazy ass shit on the guitar that you're listening, you're like, I don't know how this is possible. Master of the slide, everything else. This, when I got into vinyl, I was like, all right, well, this is an album I have to own. Sure enough, the collection comes in at my local store here. Thumbing through it, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I just saw this. And so I grabbed it, and it's I think it's a second pressing, plays like pretty damn clean. Like, I'm super lucky because it's an old album. But anyway, so just happened a week or two ago. I couldn't believe it because I wasn't about to pay top dollar for it. So
yeah, that's really good. I haven't heard that album for a long time. I used to own that.
Yeah, this is the one with like Vaseline Machine Gun is probably his biggest known hit, right? So or hit or most famous piece, but Vaseline Machine Gun.
Great grab.
There you go.
Before Alex takes a turn here, FBA's in the house. Trevor, you are out of control.
You see Trevor's? Did you skip Trevor's comment about Jason Mraz?
About need of a bowel movement.
That's it. Yeah.
We have a guitarist in the house, a pro guitar player.
Cool.
Anastasia. I love the way you spell your name. That's very cool. Where are you from? Tell us about yourself. PRO.
I don't know what that means.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Zach. Buying vowels from Pat Sajak is the only way to go. Yes. Okay, Alex, you're up, buddy.
Cool. Well, hey, shout out to Zach. That's my brother joining. So take it easy on him if he throws in questions or comments about what is it, red dirt country? I don't know. It's a type of country. So
I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know what it's like from Zach having a brother that's such a big YouTube celebrity.
What?
Like, has it changed his life?
Oh, I never even noticed the last name.
Yeah. That's tough.
A lot.
Well, Alex's last name is and Vinyl, so I don't know. Zach must be a different,
We have different mothers.
And
yeah.
track.
Yeah. Well, if you've been joining me or us over the past however many weeks or months, or if you've watched my channel, this is something that you've heard a lot of from me. The first thing that came to mind, because it kind of talks about when we're talking about new releases or concert experiences or just those memories, whatever 2023 kind of comes to mind. For me, the artist that comes to mind in terms of changed my life and my whole outlook, all these different things, was Peter Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
So I had always been a Peter Gabriel fan. always been a Peter Gabriel fan going way back. I love early Genesis when he was there. I loved his solo stuff. But you know, I didn't connect as much as I knew was even possible. And so a couple months ago when he was on this tour, I remember buying a single ticket to go when he was here in Columbus, and it was just me. And I remember buying it on the day. It was like a few hours before the show, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna regret this if I don't go. He's like 73 years old. Like, you're gonna regret this if you don't go. And I went, and to this day, I still say it was the best concert experience of my entire life. And specifically in regards to his new album, which I know a lot of people are talking about and seems like are getting really positive reviews for the most part. I don't necessarily agree with the whole, you know, he's super artsy and conceptual. So he released a single each full moon every month up until December and whatever. I didn't listen to any of those when they were released, but he played this entire album live before the album was released. And I can't help but think how meaningful that was to how much I love the album now, knowing that when I hear these songs, I go back to that experience and I have that emotional connection to those songs. I'll say this in front of everybody, only concert I've ever cried at. I mean, like, attending a Peter Gabriel show is a full emotional experience. It is a visual, oral, just full emotional experience. And just the way the band comes together and the textures and the layers and the art that is used. You know, he also played, I said this before, that he ended up playing a lot from So, but specifically played Don't Give Up, you know, the classic song that he and Kate Bush did. And there was just so much about it that I still look back at, and I said that changed the game for me in terms of Peter Gabriel. And so I've just become a mega fan now. I need everything. I'm just following him like crazy. And to me, he really sums up 2023 for me, both in the record that was released, that's my favorite record of the year, as well as the best concert of my life. So
got goosebumps listening to your concert experience. That's
what?
Cool. I got goosebumps listening to your concert experience. That's pretty cool.
Oh, there's a lot more where that came from, Jason. Just wait for what comes next, right?
Yeah.
Goosebumps in the pants. Okay.
That album might make an appearance later in this discussion. Larry.
Yeah. Well, the first album I'm not going to show because I haven't bought it yet is Paul Simon's 7 Psalms. The reason I haven't bought it yet, it's just one song. Yeah. It's, I think, 33 minutes long. I just don't want to pay over $20 for.
Well, it's 7 songs, but 1 track.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess there are 7 songs in it.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to get it at
It's
some
worth
point. I
$20,
just think
Larry.
it's amazing.
It's worth $20.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it in a long time, but yeah, I mean,
Maybe Santa will bring it to you or something.
Yeah.
they call me Samta at work.
Wow.
Samta.
They call me Samta at work this time of year. Yeah.
I think all your coworkers needs to hear Glenn's song. That's what I think. So then everyone in the office will be singing it.
Yeah, you know, some things are better left, you know, under the rug.
We try not to you know, merge our work and play live.
Yeah, I don't want people to know that I'm on live streams at 2 in the afternoon.
Couldn't be me.
Okay. My turn, I guess. I want to get this out of the way because it was probably the most important thing that happened to me all year in terms of the vinyl community. And it was probably the coolest thing that happened to me all year, but it's really not music. I guess it's kind of about music, but not records and stuff. It's meeting Steve from All the World's a Stage and Randy and Marcia and John from Music Talk with John. Getting to meet them in person this year was an absolute pleasure and a thrill, and they're all great friends, and that was the highlight of my year in terms of a vinyl community experience.
It's been over a year since I've seen you, Glenn.
It has. Yeah. I'm waiting for you to come up here. It's your turn.
It really is.
Yeah. Larry's waiting for you too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where the heck we left off before we get back to Rob. Just got the PG album today, The Dark Side 2. Oh, you got, yeah. Well, I got them both on CD. Alex, I've been listening to the Bright Mix mostly, and I put on the Dark Side Mix a couple times. I'm not really, like, nothing's jumping out at me.
It's negligible. I mean, it's
It
not.
is.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Thank you. Because I'm going,
Yeah.
am I deaf? Like, I can't hear anything.
they're not mutually exclusive. I mean, you could be both, but yeah, they're pretty negligible, and you could be deaf. But
So is it a lot of money?
Get snow yet, Jason?
I told him there's just a trace in the ground there. Nothing yet. Nothing significant.
Trace on the ground.
Yeah.
We get snow on Saturday for 3 hours. Alex, have you listened to Gabriel's Passion album?
I have not, and that's on the. And I think I could just be talking out of my ass here, but I mean that was like more soundtrack type
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
right?
a soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I would love it.
John, no, it's not great. Get here live at the Ryman. That's awesome. Yeah. Could a police cover band be arrested? Oh, jeez, Dan. I cried seeing Paul McCartney in 1980 right before he came out. There were pictures being shown, ends up with him on one side and John on the other. Cried a lot seeing John, my favorite.
Yeah.
I cried last week during Daniel Ponder singing her cover of Creep. Not
That's
a
gotta
cover
be good.
fan at all, but she's an amazing vocalist, open for Black Rooms.
Oh, what?
Cool.
Yeah, look at that, Zach.
What else do I got here? Thanks, Glenn. Highlight of my year two, making new friends. Actually went to a wrestling event. Oh, you went to the TSN, the NXT show last night? Very cool. Meeting you and Marcia was definitely a highlight for me. Marcia. We spelt it. Marcia.
Yeah.
John, we still need to meet up at Bananas. I don't want that's. You guys should keep that to yourselves. I don't know. Yeah. I love the Phil Collins album Face Value. I don't know what the hell that has to do with 2023, but Rob, back at you.
All right. I guess in keeping with the current theme, one of my favorite events of the year was I met up with a couple of people from the vinyl community. Back in the summer, I met up with Mike from MGK Boston. He came to my house because his wife is from the town that I live in. So he was visiting, so he came over. We hung out, and then he and myself and his wife and daughter, we went to a concert, and that was great. I felt like I had known John my whole life. It was great, and I haven't seen him. I saw him briefly back in November, but I had COVID, so we couldn't hang out. And I miss hanging out with him. He's just a great guy. And then I met Brian from Embryonic Robot and Chris from Stylus Meets Vinyl. We did our second annual meetup in Toronto, which was great. And it's a fun experience. You know, like I feel like I know all you guys because we have spent countless hours talking. But it's a whole other thing when you actually get to be with that person in person. It's a lot of fun. Not something that I would have expected to be as rewarding as it was when I started this YouTube thing. So,
yeah,
I hope to meet more people next year. I mean, Glenn lives so far away, and so does Larry. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there.
Well, you're always like within. Like
I could probably leave now and be finished before you guys we're done this live stream.
My turn. Yeah, I mean, like Rob said, I mean, this is unrelated to that, but I mean, it was a good year for me. I mean, Alex, was here a month ago. I got to meet him for the first time, and like I said, I was just with my buddy Tommy last weekend. I've seen Tommy a couple times this year. I've done all sorts of collaborations with people on YouTube. I haven't done as many live streams this year just because of work and busy lives and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's been a good year. I'm gonna go in a direction. I have several albums related to concerts because this is probably my most prosperous year for concerts that I've ever been to. But I'm gonna go with seeing this guy right here, Mike Campbell. Saw him in October, it was October, in Charlottesville. Just a dream come true to see him. I mean, again, people that know me know I'm a huge Tom Petty guy. Mike Campbell obviously was lead guitarist, co-songwriter with Petty. Has his own side project now, his full-time project called the Dirty Knobs. And I got to go see him with my mom, which was cool because she was a lifelong Petty fan and never got to see Petty either. So we got to experience this for the first time together. He did, most of the Dirty Knobs songs from those 2 albums that they have, but he also came out with this just unbelievable encore of just song after song after song of Tom Petty. He also did Mr. Tambourine Man, the Byrds version. But, I mean, he closed with You Wreck Me, which was just incredible to hear that crunchy guitar, that bow, bow, bow. Plus, he had Steve Ferroni, who was a longtime heartbreaker on drums playing with them. So I got to see 2 heartbreakers at this show, which was awesome because I don't know when I'll see that again. And it was just incredible. Mike sounded great. It was a small venue, 400, 500 people, probably not even 500 people, probably 400 people. Standing room only, essentially, venue. I got a really cool poster, which I almost pulled, but it's massive, and I didn't want to pull it up on the screen. So I'm just showing this is the second record, External Combustion. But it was just a fantastic show to see Mike on stage, just to hear that Gainesville, Florida snarl that Tom Petty had. I mean, again, does he sound like Petty vocally? A little bit, but he's more, gritty. But to hear that heartbreaker guitar tone live, it was just this unbelievable moment for me to see, listen to her heart and, even the Losers, and some deeper Tom Petty cuts too. Just awesome night. And definitely a highlight of 2023 for sure.
And one more comment: there was 3 heartbreakers in the arena that night because you were
right.
there.
Right, exactly. There were. You're correct.
Let me ask you, Sam, because I like the Dirty Knobs too. Which album do you like better?
Probably the first album, just because it's a little bit more jangly.
Yeah, me too.
It's a little bit more heartbreaker-y.
Yep.
External Combustion is good. I love that song. Not Irish Girl. State of Mind with Margaret Price. I know I got Steve into this album because of the Ian Hunter song Dirty Jobs, which he did live, which was really, really cool. I mean, External Combustion as a title track is great too, but it's a fun album. Again, it's got Lightning Boogie and Rat City are good, but I think the way that the first album flows is just a lot better. And again, Irish Girl is beautiful. Reckless Abandon. It's just I love that one. But I do know there's supposed to be a third one coming out, I think.
Really?
They haven't officially announced it, but he was saying at the concert probably early spring.
Oh,
wow.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yep. It's already done, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. That's a must pick up in 2024. Jason, buddy.
Okay. Again, albums I think I probably showed already, but big deal for me this year was one of my favorite bands put out not one album, but they put out 2 albums. I believe I showed at least one of these last time I was on the live stream, and that's The National. So The National did my camera sucks. Sorry. I don't know why my camera's moving. Why the hell is my camera moving all of a sudden?
It's in your settings.
I don't know.
You have too much to drink, Jason. It's not moving.
My beer's in the freezer. It's time. First 2 pages of Frankenstein was the first one they released earlier this year, and then Laugh Track just came out not even a month ago or something like that. So they hadn't released anything for a little while. The lead singer was pretty vocal about him being in kind of a funk of depression, and then they finally got back together, post-COVID kind of stuff, and they really got to, really put down a shit ton of music in the studio. And so ultimately, I guess this was their plan. Whether it was smart marketing or not, I don't know. I don't care. I'm a fan. I just want the music. And it came out, so many months apart. They could have spaced it out a lot further, and they could have, made more money or whatever. But I don't know. I'm super stoked. Both albums really scratched the national itch for me, because last couple albums I wasn't really too much of a diehard for. To me, these sound more like a bit of a throwback to the earlier days with like Boxer and Trouble Will Find Me. So I'm really super pumped to have these. I haven't even, to be honest, I haven't given Laugh Track a lot of attention yet, but it's on my to listen to pile on a regular basis. Incidentally, if anyone's watching that's a national fan, there was a great interview that David Letterman just did sitting down with the lead singer, Matt Berniger. And it's a short video to watch, and it's super, super cool. You get a little bit of insight into the band and the process and things like that. But anyway, big deal for me this year. One of my favorite bands putting out not one, but 2 albums after a bit of a hiatus. And I guess we all can relate to the idea of when you have a good band that you love, the last thing you want them to do is be on an indefinite hiatus, right? So anyway, there you go.
Jason, that Laugh Track was kind of like a surprise drop, wasn't it? Didn't that kind of like just come out of left field, out of nowhere?
Well, I was following along with the news for a while, so I kind of knew very early on after the first album that there was this backlog of extra material that was recorded. So everyone kind of had their suspicions up, and I'm not sure at what point they sort of let the cat out of the bag, but I think like some of the diehards were anticipating it. I didn't think it was going to happen this year. Like even Letterman even asked him that question, like, what the hell were you thinking? You could have just drug this out and, got more money essentially maybe, but because, I guess you run into the risk marketing wise of having a bit, too much in the market. Oh, I only need to buy one national album. Right. But anyway, I think for the diehards, I'm sure they really appreciate it. So.
Yep.
Cool.
Jason, are you using a gimbal?
I don't know what the hell. Why is it doing this? How do I fix it?
It must be in your settings somewhere.
I know, but like, I wonder if this is, it's funny because I'm in the StreamYard app. I used to be able to run this right out of like a browser, and now that I'm in the app, now it's all weird and funky. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Just lie, Jason. Say it's expensive special effects.
Yeah, that's right.
Jason, would it make you feel better if we all like joined you and we all like talked like this? And
We all joined it.
We should just do the whole, just the
I hope somebody logs in right now.
Somebody's just dropping in now to the live stream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
There's your short, Glenn. You cut that and make that the short.
But Natalie Merchant's Keeping Your Courage was an amazing album release this year, first in 9 years. Wow, I don't mind Natalie Merchant. I wouldn't mind hearing that. Interesting. I will make a comment before Alex goes, though. I have watched a ton and read a ton of best of lists for this year. And for the most part, I have never heard of 99% of any of the artists anybody's mentioned, and everyone has a different list.
Yeah.
Like I watched Scott at the Prog Corner. He did his 25 top albums of the year, non-prog, because he's a prog guy. But these are all non-prog albums. I didn't know one of the Nationals was the only one.
Yeah.
And I made notes, and like I think that is a salute to the year, how good a year it was in music. That there is a ton of music out there to explore. I must have 50 bands written down that I want to check out. So
my list, I mean, I haven't looked at it yet, but I mean, I know what my top 2 or 3 are going to be, and they're going to be different than at most.
Yeah, I think that's a tribute to the year. So that's what I wanted to make a comment on. It's a really strong year for music.
Yeah.
Alex, you're up.
I'll jump in with another kind of best of 2023. This is a band that I've been a fan of for a number of years now. They released a new album this year that I love, and then I got a chance to see them at a really small club here several months ago. There was probably 200 or so people there. This is another one of those kind of throwback bands, but based really on sort of power pop, less emphasis on the power, more emphasis on the pop.
I know who it is.
Not so much like not so much like Badfinger or that kind of stuff, but really I think more your schmaltzy Beach Boys, Eric Carmen that type of like very sugar covered pop. But I'm talking about the Lemon Twigs.
Yep.
This is their record from this year called Everything Harmony that I absolutely love. This is their 4th full LP now. This is based on 2 brothers from Long Island that were sort of I don't know, they were raised in a musical household. I think they were on Broadway, so very theatrical and very poppy. But I was sitting here thinking, I was like, God, they put this album out this year, and I was doing a little bit more research, and I was like, they're like 25 when they put this album out, and they've been doing this now. This is their 4th record, so they're super young. If you like just this is one of those albums that you have to check the time. You have to check the calendar, and you're like, what year am I in? Because this sounds directly out of the early 70s here. So I absolutely loved them, and it was really cool seeing them live in such a small. It's probably the smallest place I've been. It felt like I was going to see a local band. I was telling somebody before, like I was standing in line to the bathroom with like the bass player.
Yeah.
Because there's no dressing room, there's no backstage, it's like this is how it was. And so it was really cool because they're not a local band. I mean, they're a nationally touring band, internationally touring. And this album was great. So yeah.
Did he ask you to hold his bass for a second?
Or something else?
He asked me to hold a different instrument, Glenn.
I think I know Brian Wilson and the Zombies are both big fans of them.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
And I always have to put this out there because with a lot of these, these people, they'll come for me. But I was a fan of them before I was a fan of Norman Maslow, because I know Mazzy loves these guys, which is amazing because we've talked about it before too. But I've been following them for a while as well. And so they're just really cool. I actually originally heard about them through, I don't even remember who it was from. It wasn't like on the radio or anything, but you do a little stream and a little sound check, and you're like, this is amazing. So yeah.
Hold it a little closer to the screen so I can get my everything in harmony. Cool.
You did a little stream when you were going to the bathroom with the bass player. Thank you, Rob.
Sam, I'm talking. This isn't a joke, Sam.
Yeah, it's not a joke. Music is serious, Sam.
It is
Damn
serious.
for the win. He's here all night, folks. Tip your waitress.
More like
Another hour. Yeah.
I like the Lemon Twigs album, but it does seem targeted to 14-year-olds.
Well, I have no comment on that. I was going to say something like, never
Just
mind. But
across
yeah.
streams. Larry.
Well, I'm going to be leaving soon, so I'll just get everything out of the way here, and it's not much.
You can't go. You can't come on a live chat and then
Yes,
go.
I can. I can leave at any time.
You were paid for 2 hours, Larry.
You'll never be allowed back.
Anyway, the best Beatles book I've ever owned is this. It's very detailed about their whole career up to Sgt. Pepper. And there's also Taylor Swift and
There you go, Rob.
Who? Come on. There's more to me than Taylor Swift.
I bought that for my granddaughter for Christmas.
yeah. The Bee Gees.
That's cool. It's like written like one of those old kids' books.
It's a
And
little
of
golden
course,
book.
these are the highlight of the year for me. I like all of the remixes, even I Am the Walrus. It is way different though, but and then the #1 album of the year for Record Collector magazine with this band on the cover.
Show us.
It is Sparks.
Is that Simon and Garfunkel?
Yes, Simon and Garfunkel.
Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah. The girl is crying in her latte, probably in my top 5 Sparks albums of all time. So that's it. Thank you.
Are you hanging around now, or now that you've?
No, I'll stay for a few minutes.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
we like Larry.
We do.
Don't go, Larry. Don't leave us. I guess a couple of concerts are going to be in my list of great moments, and the first one was last summer. A very enjoyable evening with my wife Lynn at Budweiser Stage to see the Tedeschi Trucks Band. I mean, Ziggy Marley opened. He was absolutely phenomenal. Just a great opening act, and did a couple of his dad's songs and plus all his own great songs. I ended up buying like 3 or 4 Ziggy Marley albums since then. He's awesome. And Tedeschi Trucks. I mean, it's a 10-piece band. Susan Tedeschi's a great vocalist and a great guitar player. Derek Trucks is an incredible guitar player. Everybody in that band is so friggin' talented. If they ever come around, you got to go see them. They're absolutely amazing live. And that was a real highlight of my year was Tedeschi Trucks.
I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, fantastic
Yeah.
band. And Rob's next, but he's not going to be around right now, so who knows what
Gotta go
he's
cross
doing. I have the
streams.
Beatles golden record. Don't we all? Let's talk about Rob while he's gone. So you see the bottom of the screen, everyone, while Rob's not here. Let's get Rob to 1,000 subs. Please subscribe to Northern Revolutions. Tell your friends. So, I mean, Larry Graves has 14 million subscribers. You think just 50 of them could go over and subscribe to Rob's channel and get him to 1,000?
Larry's furniture was all donated.
What about me?
I'm just pointing out my scroll at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yes. Thanks, guy. I'm getting close to. I'm no Sam St. John at the hair salon, but I'm getting there.
How far are we away?
I'm at like 750 or 955, I think. 955, 956.
We'll get you there, buddy.
Zach makes a good point in the chat. Rob, you need to do a Kid Rock video. That'll put you over the top, man.
You know what? I'm going to do that, and you know what soundbite I'm going to include in there? Where are you headed, Sam?
Listen,
Come on, Sam.
they might
Where
not
you
be the subscribers you want, but they're going to be the subscribers you need.
That's right.
Yeah. I
have to say that was probably the most fun I've ever had on a live stream when we were busting Sam's balls about that.
Imagine if Sam had a beer for me.
Yeah, I know.
I was sober as a bird.
That's so shameful.
Glenn was telling everyone unsubscribe from you, Rob. Yeah, because they do exactly the opposite of whatever I say to do. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Rob, you're up.
Too bad I was headed to church, you know.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me get this. James Wilson. Hey, James. My highlights of 2023 in music are discovering the sister group, The Warning, Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour concert film, and Olivia Rodrigo. So our friend Scott at the Prog Corner picked that as his second favorite album of the year.
Really?
I've heard a lot of people.
It's like a rock album. It's not really
It's
like
pretty good.
Yep.
I'm going to have to give that a listen.
She's like 20 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like the future of rock music.
I don't know if it's rock
I don't know about that.
necessarily, but
Sam.
Well, supposedly that's a rock album, is what Scott said. I haven't heard it.
it's rock-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as rock as an Alanis Morissette album.
What? Sam,
Whoa.
Sam.
Oh, what's wrong with Alanis Morissette?
You got 4 Canadians on here. We'll watch it.
Well, hey, she dated Uncle Joey, so you know.
Last time
Was
I
it
looked
Uncle
at
Joey?
Alanis
Joey.
Morissette, she sold about 50 million records, I think.
Yeah.
She still looks good.
I picked it up and it is quite good. There we go. Your brother got it, Alex.
That surprises me, but good for Zach. Yeah, that's great.
Rob, you're up.
Okay. Another highlight of 2023 for me, and some of you will know this unless you're American. One of my absolute favorite albums and a landmark Canadian album from the 90s saw its very first appearance on vinyl.
Was it Stunt?
Amanda Marshall, her self-titled album from 95, is phenomenal. Staple of Canadian radio and much music back in the 90s. Ton of hits on it. I've said before, she's kind of like Sheryl Crow with a little bit of soul. Bloody fantastic album. And tied in with this is the interesting story. So she recorded this in 95. She did her follow-up in 97, I think, which was Tuesday's Child. And then she did another one around 2000. And then she fired her manager, and then there was she got sued by her former manager, and that dragged on for 17 years. She couldn't record music for 17 years. She vanished from the music scene. It finally got resolved just before the pandemic. She did a comeback tour this year, which was phenomenally successful. put out a new album. I'm hit and miss on the new album, but this is awesome. There's some, and for her debut record, there's some pretty incredible people. Her bass player on here is Leland Sklar.
There's Tim just making a comment on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Tim Pierce, who's another famous session guitar player. He's got a YouTube channel too. He plays guitar on this. This is a phenomenal album. Never thought I would see it. I listen to this once a week. It's so goddamn good. And this here is the limited edition white vinyl pressing. Unfortunately, it's warped, but it still plays perfectly fine. So what are you gonna do? But fantastic record.
Awesome. Sam St. John in the hair salon. You're up.
I'm gonna go. Where am I gonna go? I'll go.
Where are you going?
So there's a reissue of one of my favorite groups who I got to see this year, and that's really what I'm gonna be talking about. But they reissued this album called "Let's Be Still." It's the Head and the Heart. It's their sophomore album. Thank you, Alex. This is really cool because it came with a magazine. I think it was an Uncut magazine that came out around this time, which was 2013. That was when it originally came out. This is the 10-year anniversary. It came out on double vinyl, so it's nice, wide grooves. And what was so cool was, again, I got to see the Head and the Heart back in July, again in Charlottesville. And what was so cool about that concert? First of all, it was like the hottest temperature-wise concert that I've ever been to. It's inside of like this huge circus tent, but it's like, it's open walls. So like you have the natural elements coming in, but the heat just was like building inside. It was so hot, but I was able to stand front row up against the guardrail, about like where the security guards were standing. And it was the first time ever that I've been to a show where one of the performers, where I was actually able to like shake his hand while he was performing. One of the players, Matty Gervais, who's with the group, he came down and was shaking everybody's hand on the front row. And so I was able to get, a handshake from him. He's married to Charity Rose Thielen, who is the fiddle player in the group, the lone female in the group. But it was just one of those really like cool moments where, you got to like physically, like, touch flesh, as it were. Right, Alex? With a member of a band. And it was just one of those crazy cool moments. I saw a friend from college there who I hadn't seen since graduation. So it had been 7 or 8 years since I'd seen him and his girlfriend. So that was really cool. It was just one of those great nights that like it kind of encapsulated summer to me that year. Well, this year, I went by myself, but it was just a fantastic memory. So this is kind of like a representation of that with this new reissue that came out this year on Sub Pop Records. So Head and the Heart in July with the reissue of Let's Be Still, which has some great tunes on it. So there you go.
Jason, you're up, buddy.
Okay, I don't have anything to show here, but someone did talk about an artist that they're kind of discovering this year, and so very recently, someone turned me on to the band The Flaming Lips, and I didn't know. I knew they existed, and they're gonna laugh at that statement. I knew they existed, and I was always wanting to get into them. Finally, they said, okay, check out this album, The Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots or whatever, right? So I got that out. Well, I didn't get that album, but I streamed that album. I don't know how many times I've streamed that now, like countless times. I freaking love it. It's incredible music. And so what I did was, between streaming that, I went and started at the beginning of their discography. And as far as Apple Music's concerned, anyway, I've gotten under my belt now. I've gotten the Here It Is album from '86, Oh My God from '87, Telepathic Surgery from '89. So that album those 3 albums have been just gold for me, right? So, and like I saw the dates on the albums, like 86, 87, 89. There is nothing 80s about this, right? And everyone's got their own opinion on 80s music. Like, I'm not a fan. Like, all the power to like the synth pop and those, what they would say is overproduction 80s stuff. I don't like it. That's all right, whatever. this is not that. This is just killer shit that I can't get enough of. And I don't remember the last time I fell for a band as hard as I did for this one. So it's actually pretty exciting as a music fan to find a band again, you know, like to find someone new to dive into. Like I'm always learning new stuff thanks to you guys and everyone else in the VC. And, you know, I always have my homework to do, and Rob's laying so much homework on me. It's ridiculous. But I was pretty stoked to get turned on to this band, and I'm having a hell of a time. It's one of those bands that I'm so excited to learn more about. I'm actually trying to pace myself to not just, you know, expose myself to everything. I'm actually enjoying every album, you know, one song at a time. So
You should never expose yourself. That's illegal.
Yes. So anyway, that's a big takeaway for me this year, and it's like literally just happened. I'd say over the last, you know, month and a half. When I was told about the band, I just haven't stopped listening to them, and it's hard to squeeze other things in. But talk about invigorating when it comes to being a music fan, to find something that totally clicks with you and you're all in. So
there's so many bands out there that we've all ignored for whatever reason, or just never got into for whatever reason. Then something motivates you to check them out, and you go, "Why have I been waiting all these years to check this out?" Like I get 10 of them a year.
And Jason,
Larry and I have turned each other on to tons of stuff through our exchange, and I know Jason and Rob are doing one now, which is awesome. And I'm sure you guys are going to find the same thing, right? You're just going to go, "Wow, that's incredible."
Jason, I remember it's like the overly obvious. I'm sure like the diehard fans of the band would be like, "Oh, here we go." But I remember like the first time I heard "Do You Realize," and I was like, "This is the most perfect like psychedelic pop like that is just like a perfect pop like psychedelic song." And I think
the psych, I guess someone would call it like acid rock, right? And like the psych aspect of it really, I think that's what drew me in, because I fell into music in the, you know, late 60s kind of era, and so to have a relatively modern day band kind of hitting those notes is just gold, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote that name down, and I'm going to check them out. I'm going to actually doing my year-end wrap-up in like 4 parts, and one of them is bands that I discovered or rediscovered in this year too. So I got a whole bunch of those flaming lip type examples as well. Hold on a second here.
Alex, this will give you time to talk about our visit for your next memory of 2023.
Coyote by Daniel,
the world, Sam.
Right.
Coyote by Dylan LeBlanc. I'd love to hear your take on it.
I added it to my list. Don't know it. No.
Oh, added it. Okay, added it to the list. Faces or Rod Stewart solo, if you had to pick. Well, if you're talking Faces and the Rod Stewart solo albums that came out while he was in the Faces, it's the same thing to me. Man. But after he left the Faces, it's the Faces. I don't know if anybody else got an opinion on that, but
those first 3 or whatever, you know, it's like, what is it? Never a Dull Moment, Gasoline Alley, and those are fantastic. But I love those Faces records too.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, amazing. I don't think Larry talked much about Sparks, but he did show a magazine.
Yeah.
I avoided Little Feat in the band my whole life until the last few years. Wow, both fantastic.
Oh man!
And if you love the band, you gotta love Little Feat. It's that there's some similarities there.
Alex.
Sorry, buddy.
Sam, relax. Well, yeah. I mean, since Sam mentioned, I'll kind of combine it with another story, I guess. But you know, this is not a concert or a record or anything, but you know, this was the year for me, and I think Jason too, not to throw Jason in there, but I made it was like not a bucket list, but I guess like a New Year's sort of goal, not about resolutions, but around New Year's, I kind of said, you know, for my 33rd year, I want to start a YouTube channel, right? Like, I mean, the symbolism of like 33 and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I put it off and I put it off and I put it off. And in great part to the people who are on the stream or people who are in the chat, you know, you all have been so overwhelmingly supportive of it. And, you know, I think it's important is, you know, leading into, you know, Sam's story or whatever of like, you know, the whole reason for me doing this is it really is for the community aspect, right? Like I often joke, but it's also true. Like I truly don't believe I offer like anything. I don't mean that like depressingly, but like I am in this for purely selfish reasons of doing stuff like this, or like
Yeah,
if I'm visiting.
we see that in your videos. There's really nothing there.
Yeah, we
There's nothing
agree.
there.
You don't have much.
Alex, are
Yeah,
you
perfect? That's perfectly.
Alex?
good
What you're
description of your
basically
video.
saying is I've inspired you to start a YouTube channel.
Listen, Glenn, to your point, all 151 of my subscribers are going to be so upset with you for throwing that at me. But for me, it's like I really don't care about the subscribers or any kind of stuff. Like, when I was growing up and getting into music and still to this day, my favorite thing to do is to sit around, have a couple of beverages, and talk about music.
Yep.
That's all. That is, to me, that is like all I want to do. And whether I have 5 subscribers or whether I have 50,000 like Larry does, or anywhere in between, like I still have the opportunity to do that with you all and with others, and that means a ton. And I think a lot of that, and the full circle moment is big shout out to Rob, because Rob, I don't know if you really know this, but I fully intended on putting off the whole YouTube thing pretty much forever until I made a commitment to you.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That when you sent me that Dirty Honey record, that I would actually, that I would post it. Like I told myself, once I get the record, I have to. I've made a promise to Rob, and now I will. In the full circle moment is I just saw them, I guess, twice on Monday. Their new record signed, and it's awesome. And like the other thing too that Sam was joking about was like getting the chance to meet and hang out with Sam, and somebody that, I don't know if you feel this way, Sam, but somebody was like, I've never met in person. I talked to over this or over Instagram, but like someone who I felt like I had a connection with, somebody that I felt like I've known for a long time. We laughed, we cried, we touched flesh. Everything was so great. and to me, I'm like,
across the streams.
Cross streams.
To me,
Man,
let's just hope it was P. And then,
Oh my lord!
but to me, and as it probably sounds a little bit whatever. I don't care. But to me, it's like that's made it all worth it, right? Like being able to have those times and meet people and talk about these things and laugh and do this type of stuff, like it's worth it already for me. And I've been at this for like a month and a half. So I mean, really for me, it was like getting into this thing and doing the stuff and meeting you all and hanging out, and it's just been so great. And so yeah, that's sort of the whole story there of 2023, starting the YouTube channel. And then the special shout out to obviously Rob and Sam, but then all of you who have played a part in being supportive. I mean, Glenn, like I remember was I joined on like a random Friday night live stream that you just said, hey, it's a random pop-up. Like,
yep.
Alex, you're in the comments, join if you want to. And then I distinctly remember you had sent me an Instagram message that was like, thanks so much for joining. Like you have a lot to say. Like it meant a lot to me. And yeah, so I just want to shout out all of you. And
well, you are an absolute. Honestly, I'm sincerely. You are. Sam's crying. He's very
yeah.
No, seriously, it's a pleasure, man. You're awesome.
Yeah, we're happy to
tap. Your channel I think you are a natural at this. Fantastic.
And then there's Jason. Yeah.
And then there's Jason who goes viral with his first video and hasn't posted one since.
Yeah, hasn't done anything since then.
I'm sorry.
Jason doesn't want us to get sick of him. That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, they say.
Thank you.
Sam, have you ever heard of Jerry Doucette?
I have not.
Very revealing chat today. Yes, it's
we should cover up.
Good evening, everyone. Anyone been to a good record shows lately? I haven't.
The last one was with Alex.
We woke up in each other's pants.
Oh, dear Lord.
Let's all hold hands and sing Come Boy. Yeah. Hey, Canadian guys, what's your favorite April Wine album? I've never heard an April Wine album in my friggin' life.
Nope, me neither.
Singles band to me, I don't know.
Yep.
Doucette is Canadian.
You know why Dan asked that question, right? Because
Okay, Larry.
the
I think
guitar
Larry
player
wants
for
to go to
April 1
bed, so
died.
let him.
Yeah, I want to go to bed, but I do want to recommend a book by this guy named Geddy Lee, My Effin' Life. It is just so good. And it's on at Chapters, Glenn, in Belleville. It was like $50. On Amazon, it's for $29.99 on
I
sale.
know.
So-
Santa's bringing it to me for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Only
So
if you
highly
do.
recommended.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody. I gotta go.
Thanks,
to see
Larry.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye,
Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Hey,
Awesome.
notice,
See you,
Larry, I just noticed when you said you were leaving, the amount of people watching jumped up to 55 from 30. Great.
Bye everyone.
Take care, Larry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Larry.
See you, man.
Oh, I'm on the top
All
row.
right,
All right, now that Larry's gone,
Ideas. Yeah. Let's talk.
What a loser.
Yeah. What a loser.
Nature of the Never heard Roller by April 1.
Roller, hardly know her.
Probably.
I hate record shows, but love records. I like record
That's
shows.
okay.
Harder, Faster, and Stand Back by April 1. Yeah, I don't know any of their albums. I guess I'm up.
Mhm.
My last two are going to be focused on the same human being. So before that, I just want to say the
Sam.
two octogenarian. Maybe Peter Gabriel isn't that old yet, but he's up there. He's older than me, and I'm older
Yeah.
than dirt. So
By like 3 years. Yeah, he's 73. I think.
so Peter Gabriel and Paul Simon put out my two favorite albums this year, which I think is fantastic that people that age are still putting out quality music. This isn't hackneyed diamonds, folks. This is actually these are albums that are going to get played. And I'm telling you, I cannot stop playing this Peter Gabriel album. I picked this Paul Simon as my number one album of the year because I've been living with it longer. But I'll tell you, Peter Gabriel, about 6 months ago, this would be the number one album by 10 miles. Like, it is so good. I mean, I can't stop playing it. It's fantastic. And it just keeps getting better and better. Like, you got to listen to this album. Even if you think you don't like Genesis or you don't think, this is a freaking great record.
Are you still? Did I hear that Four Kinds of Horses was your favorite?
It was. I don't know now, man.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. It changes every week for me.
This is home. Yeah, I'm the same. I start listening to songs now, and the whole album it's just brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So anyway, just the hats off to Paul Simon and Peter Gabriel for really
Rob,
making
I think you should redo that Peter Gabriel album cover for your new profile picture on YouTube.
Yeah,
Just take your hat off and hit the.
I could do that.
Let's see it. People will think you're Peter Gabriel. Your subs will do like that. Yeah. Sing some Salisbury Hill. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I've done
Jim,
that too,
went to
Jim.
my first record show and ended up buying CDs. I buy a lot of CDs at record shows. Not a bad haul.
When
Imagine.
Alex was with me, I bought 2 NSYNC CDs for $1 each.
Yeah.
He got a free record.
And yet he
I
laughed at me for Taylor Swift.
Dan
The
Fogelberg.
darker moody blues, the doomy blues. Well, before we start, Rob, I got to show you something. Hold on.
Oh,
All right.
Don't stand up and say that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God.
I got to show you something.
The zipper comes down.
Oh boy.
Rob's going to love this. I was at the thrift store yesterday, Rob, or the day before. Look what I found.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
What a great freaking record.
That is beautiful. Love
Matt
it.
Mays, El Torpedo.
Yes. His second
Well,
album.
first
Love
album
it.
rock, eh? Holy crap, that's a good record. Rob's always talking about Matt Mays, and I've never really paid much attention to him, and I found this for $2.
So I saw him on that tour. He opened for Blue Rodeo at Hamilton Place.
Oh, wow.
That was when Cocaine Cowgirl was his big radio hit. What a phenomenal
If you just want a
song.
good rock album, I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Really.
So that show that I went to see him at Hamilton, Hamilton Place. Yeah, Hamilton Place. When they opened for Blue Rodeo, after that show, I was able to get backstage, me and my wife, won't say how. And I'm standing in the room where the band's having the meet and greet, and I'm waiting to talk to Greg Keeler. And there's this guy standing over in the corner, and it's Ron McLean from Hockey Night in Canada.
Oh,
so I
yeah?
shot the shit with him for like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
That was the first time I saw Matt Mays, and he was awesome. That's probably my second favorite Matt Mays record.
Really? Yeah, that's really good. I was impressed.
Yeah.
So you see, Alex has a different viewpoint. I think he's happy that he saw those shows with the songs before the album came out. Right? Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack. Jack doesn't come around much anymore now that he's got a license and a car. He's out driving around all the frickin' time.
Picking up chicks.
Unrelatable.
And you passed over my comment getting on Alex. Oh, Jesus.
Here we go.
Holy
Steve.
crap. How far do I have to go back?
I don't know. I went scrolling and I couldn't find anything from Steve except when he was talking about Larry and
you repeat the comment, Steve, because we can't
Just
find
get Steve up here and then you make it.
Yeah, would you want to
No,
come up?
last
Steve?
time
You're more than
he's
welcome.
naked. No.
Steve, I can let me know if you want to come
Steve.
up. I'll put a link up.
We don't need to see that.
We don't need Steve to get up.
Steve's channel, man. Like, I think that's a brilliant idea how he does the 5 years of a life, or what is it called? 5 years in the life of an artist or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he's hitting all the marks.
Yeah, Steve's all right.
I love the Russian guy selling CDs.
He loves you guys.
You buy best. Favorite Pink Floyd album? Metal.
Animals.
Dark Side.
Metal and Dark Side are tied, but I listened to Metal the other night in its entirety again. I would say that's my most played Pink Floyd album, and I could put it on every night and be happy.
Animals is second to me. Animals is second after Dark. If Dark Side doesn't count, Animals for me.
Really? And Animals is the album I can't get into.
Which is crazy because that's a more proggy album, and I like it.
Weird.
Yeah.
Hardboard Head Guy.
Ever heard the Blasters? Yes, absolutely. Dave Albin. Yeah. Hey, there's a link. I might go on. I might jump on. You guys like seeing band perform new material or known material for concerts? I like a bit of both.
Question. Good question.
Yeah.
And then that kind of goes into a question that Sam could appreciate with Dylan, or I guess you too, Glenn, like how Dylan plays the songs that you want to hear, but every time he plays them, they're friggin' different, right?
Well, that'll probably come up for this next round.
I think it's going to come up at some point with me too.
Well, and I would say this was sort of, if we go back to that comment from Cardboard Head Guy, this was part of, one of the concerts I saw back in June was Jackson Browne. I shared this maybe on a streamer with a couple of y'all. I remember telling you about it, Sam, when we were hanging out, is, Jackson Browne is, to me, one of the best songwriters that we've ever been graced with. And so when I saw him, it's like he performed 2.5 hours. He performed 2 sets, and he performed a lot of deep cuts. And he's a storyteller, and he's someone who, talks between each song. And, to the embarrassment of me and my buddy who were there, like the fans, quote unquote, in the space were being obnoxiously like disrespectful. Wow. And like we're talking like heckling, like people being like, "We came for the hits, we came for like play this."
Oh man!
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, like, sure, like if you want to, yeah, of course you played like the Loadout and Run on Empty, like great, I love that stuff too. But like, if I just want to go listen to a greatest hits album, I'll go listen to the greatest hits album. Like I'm there and want to see these guys play these songs and tell these stories.
Yeah.
I saw Jackson Browne one time. He opened for James Taylor, and people might have seen my video. I mean, I'm assuming that they did, but back in 2021, it was the first concert I ever went to. Well, it was the first concert that I went to after COVID, is what I should say. And it was a big, arena here in town, and Jackson Browne opened. And to me, he blew James Taylor out of the water. But if you remember, Jackson Browne had COVID early on. Yeah. And he opened with the song "I'm Alive." From the album of the same name from the early 90s. And that was one of those moments. I mean, Alex was talking about crying during Gabriel. We're like, I was teary-eyed because I'm like, I'm in a room with like, 8,000 people. But I didn't think I would ever be able to like be in a room with like 5 people again, after COVID. It was just like one of those like most bizarre things. And to hear this guy that survived COVID sing "I'm Alive," that was like a top concert moment for me. So,
well, and that's one of those, the Jackson Browne opening for James Taylor on like an arena show is interesting. I like James Taylor. I have nothing against James Taylor. I really like James Taylor. But I also think too of like, he is someone who blew up and became super famous on account of a handful of songs. I think if you put like the strength of albums 1-to-1 and the strength of songwriting 1-to-1, James Taylor versus Jackson Browne, not to get into the competition of it, but I think that's the point is like, Jackson's stuck opening up for this guy. And I'm sitting there going, as a complete catalog, like I'd rather listen to Jackson 9 times out of 10,
But sometimes on those tours they switch. Like Jackson will close one night and James will close.
That one, Jackson Browne was the guy because he played for almost an hour, and then because he did the Pretender, and James Taylor came out and sang the Pretender with him, and then he closed with like Running on Empty, and then James Taylor came out and did his, almost 2 hours. But Jackson Browne then came out at the end to do Take It Easy with James Taylor, which was pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been a great show. There's private comments going on. There's some guy in there. Does anybody know who he is?
No, I just saw that.
Did he just infiltrate us somehow?
Well, he probably jumped on that link that you sent out to the public, Glenn.
Oh yeah, I would say
and he's doing. I don't care. Well, he's doing private chat, so that's good. You can do private chats all night because no one can frickin' see him.
Yeah, it's spam.
And hope you're enjoying yourself, buddy. No one can see your comments, you moron. Dumb fuck doesn't even know how to work it. That's how stupid he is to come on and do that anyway. And then it even proves how stupid he is that he doesn't even have to work a comment thing on something simple like that. An idiot.
Hit that block.
Oh my God. What a
Glenn,
dumb.
he's sitting in the studio.
Why do you figure out how to work your rude comments? Like you don't even know how to do it.
Be a better spammer.
Be a better spammer. Yeah, you're useless. You get that. The worst. Let's slam this guy for 5. The worst spammer in the history of YouTube. Right, this guy. What a loser. Oh, he's coming. He's got another comment.
Wait, Glenn, is he backstage?
Let me in, man. I didn't do nothing. Bro. He has to
be backstage if he's able to private chat us.
Yeah.
The cacking Grunglio. Somehow he ended up in our private chat. I'm sorry, everyone, but
if he's backstage, go ahead and block him.
I can't block him out of the private chat. I can't figure out how to do it.
Well, if he's waiting in the queue backstage,
if he comes up in the he is down here. I don't know who the frick he is.
This is the only thing worse than Naked Steve is a naked cackling Grunglio.
I'm not letting you up, buddy. I don't know who you are, so I'm sorry. You're not coming on.
X him out of there.
You're not coming on. Sorry. Let me see if I can figure it out.
Who's up on this little rotation?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's smiling at me. He's got sunglasses on.
Yeah, get rid of him. No. Get that guy out of here.
Well, yeah. Who's up? You can keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking while I try and figure out how to get. I can't figure out how to get kicked from studio.
Was Rob the first of our rotation?
I kicked him out.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
All right. What am I going to do with? All right. I have a bunch more. I'm going to save that one. Okay. I'm going to do. Wow. What am I going to do? All right. I mean, I don't want to talk about this.
Oh, here he goes. Not cool, brother. I don't know who you are.
Get him out of there.
Yeah, but that profile picture is pretty good. I just
credit where credit's due. Is that what you're saying?
Freaking idiot.
Oh shit.
Alex. Go ahead, Rob.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm going to do this. This, again, in the category of favorite releases, this just came out 2 days ago.
Oh, I want that.
So, Bryan Adams live at the Royal Albert Hall. I'm going to do a whole video about this in a couple days. This is the vinyl version. Bryan Adams did a 3-night residency at the Royal Albert Hall in England last year, and he did Cuts Like a Knife, Into the Fire and Waking Up the Neighbors, one album live each night. What's interesting about this is the only live concert recording that made this box set is Waking Up the Neighbors. The other two albums were still recorded live off the floor, but without an audience. They didn't, for some reason, didn't press the concert recording of those two albums, which is interesting. So there's parts of this that I love and parts of this that I don't. I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet. This is autographed, which is kind of cool. But the Waking Up the Neighbors live concert album in its entirety, I'm going to swear, is fucking phenomenal. It's awesome. I know Bryan Adams is a wanker, and I know he pissed me off last week by giving me a copyright strike. Fuck you, Bryan Adams. But this is this box set I'm excited about, and I won't say much more because I'm going to do a whole video about it.
Looks beautiful.
Wow. I think Bryan Adams did not stand the test of time. I can't. His voice just sounds like nails on a blackboard to me now, and I used to be a fan. So it's not someone who hated Bryan Adams. He was awesome when he was on top. He was great.
He's not as good now as he was.
Go, oh God! Like
I'm a huge Bryan Adams fan, and the stuff he puts out now is not as good as the stuff he did back then. Yeah. However, live, still he's amazing live.
Really,
I saw him on the Reckless tour a couple years ago. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh wow! I've got to say I've never seen.
I know. Gary and Jeff Witcher went to go see him too, up in Cleveland or somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you guys have CD players in your car? Sorry, I missed this comment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't use it, but I have it.
Actually, that plays a big part in me looking for other vehicles too, because I don't do streaming of any kind.
Does your broken gas pedal play?
I mean, me, it's I make memory sticks for myself with all my music on it, and I plug them in the car. So me, when I'm looking for a car, I need the capability of it housing my memory stick and letting me play through it.
I'm the same way. I have my whole digital library on a 160 gig USB stick.
Yeah. I
wish I was that patient with it.
I very rarely use my CD player. Jim has one. Tears for Fears album played live was amazing. I'll bet you it was. I would have liked to have seen that tour because that's a great freaking record.
I think
I like Enemy Material by Floyd. Jackson Browne will put you to sleep in concert.
No,
I don't think so. I've seen Jackson Browne a few times, and I don't agree with that.
No, Jackson killed it.
Yeah, I guess vehicles no longer have CD players. Yeah, a lot of them don't. I saw Jackson for Tom Petty. He definitely did not put. No,
what a show! There you go, Jack.
Well, if you're not cutting your head off in a guillotine, I don't think Steve likes it too much.
Right, yeah. Or, your name's not Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Favorite genre?
I'm really starting to think mine is folk and folk rock.
I don't have one.
I mean, it's hard to narrow
that is down. A great genre, though. I think that's awesome.
I like the genres that exist that don't make any sense. So my favorite is melodic death metal.
Melodic death metal. I have Dan's pretty rich here. He's got a 2019 Lincoln and a.
No, that's Steve. Cuba. That's Steve.
I have a 2017 Lincoln. What's wrong with that?
Oh, that's Steve. Yeah, but Steve's got. Look at the. I mean, Steve's got cash. You can afford two cars like that, Steve. Why aren't you sending me some VCLT?
I know you sent him that nice CD player. All that money.
Yeah, I sent him a $2,000 CD player. If I would have known he was that rich, I wouldn't have sent it to him. Anyone want to see Jackson Browne concert? Love Sleepy Sounds. I don't think that's. I don't like this.
Don't dog on Jackson Browne.
No.
Although, not everybody can be as mature as us. It's okay.
Well, I used to work for Mariposa Folk Festival, and the year before I started working there, they were telling the story. Jackson Browne was the star of the festival. He came up and also there was Sam
St. John.
I think it was Sam Moore, and Dave. And they were in the green room, and Jackson Browne had just pulled up with his entourage and everything, and he walks into the green room, and he's sitting there, and in front of everybody, Sam Moore says to him, "Hey, Jackson, you still into all this Save the Planet shit?" And Jackson says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, why don't you turn off your fucking buses then?" That was pretty funny.
That's funny.
All the world's, yep, a CD player is a deal breaker.
Yep.
God,
I agree.
I haven't used mine in
Perfect
forever.
link, LOL.
I'm looking for a new car, and that's a big part of it for me.
I'm here for the Canadian chirping. More of this, please.
This guy named Zach Dudek.
Everyone else was curious enough not to jump on your link. Depends on the band. Being an old school Kiss fan, I hate that they did a greatest hits set for the last 20 years. I wish they would have done more deep cuts in the day.
Well, that's McCartney right now.
How about would you like if they played live instead of to a tape?
Ooh.
That would even be better.
Well, Trevor's comment was up there. Trevor, congrats on your Kiss live stream. You did a good job, man.
You definitely know block people, Glenn. My Strange Brew channel is still in jail. I don't know how to figure that out. Who would disrupt this hallowed chat? Can't be human.
Right.
Hallowed chat. I only say rude comments when Larry is on.
Hey,
Yeah.
John, speaking of your Strange Brew channel, you'll never guess what I got yesterday.
Oh, God. Bob and Doug.
Someone gave me a box of records and it was in here, and I'm like, I got to keep this as a Canadian. I have to.
I said, does that make you a hoser there, Rob?
It does. Absolutely.
Nice job, Sam. Right.
Oh, the cackling grunglio was banned and their comments were removed. They tried to get back on. Was that a chicken getting okay? Sam is like trumpet around him when he doesn't like someone. Get him out of here.
Get him out. Get him out.
What was that Family Guy character, the heckler?
Actually, I looked him up. He does have a channel, and I think he's just one of those trolls. Like, I think that's like the person who was trying to get in. What was it? The Gungalo, cackling Gungalo. Yeah, he has a channel, and it looks like he's just like a troll. So,
Well, now Glenn's made an enemy for all of us.
Well, that's okay.
It's all right.
This is too kind to just talk about Bryan Adams.
I mean, I've seen Bryan Adams twice on the Bare Bones tour, like about 5 years apart, and it was killer.
I wish I had seen that.
It was killer.
To the crackling grunglio or whatever he's called, for anyone who's watching, like
He who must not be
there's
named.
people like Dan and James and Roy and all these people who contribute week after week after week, and we're comfortable with them. We know who they are. And you, sir, came out of nowhere. We don't have a clue who you are, and you jumped on the link when it was for Steve. If you contribute every week and we start to see that you're serious, you'd be more than welcome to come up. So
Though, to be fair, we'd probably block Steve if he jumped up here dressed the way that he was the first time.
Yeah, we don't need to see him naked again.
No.
Well, what do you think of Memory Sticks? Oh, not good. Do you have a favorite alternate variations of an album cover?
Sam's is Blind Faith.
I don't know. Me now, I resemble that comment needing a guillotine. Yeah. Sam, do you listen to Jimmy Dean? He makes sausages too. Yeah. I saw Jack Brown 3 times. I guess I caught him on 3 off nights. Yeah,
Dang,
Steve
Steve.
don't like that kind of music.
But
He
yeah,
doesn't
like
like
this
Taylor.
sounds like Steve doesn't
He
like
doesn't
Jackie
like-
Brown.
I mean,
Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
unpleasant for Jackson Brown, Steve, because you were
I
there.
don't even know why Steve would go to a Jackson Brown concert because he didn't like that kind of music.
Because read the comment, Glenn. He says not by choice.
So why were you held hostage 3 times,
Yeah.
Steve? You
Well,
need better
yeah.
company.
Why would anybody go to a concert 3 times they don't want to go to?
Give him a second chance and a third chance and a.
That's a good point, James. Well, I should say, if we're talking about the year in review, I mean, obviously we have to acknowledge this.
Yeah, we got off talk. So
Yeah,
whose
we're
turn
way
is
out
it
now.
anyway? Is it yours?
It's Rob.
Okay,
Is it?
Rob. Go ahead.
Or did you just go? Did you just talk?
Yeah, I just did. I did the Bryan Adams
Have
thing.
another drink, Sam.
Yeah. I've got
Give him
one
one.
more in the fridge, but I can't do 2 11%. There's just
Oh,
no
come
way.
on.
Not with that attitude, Sam.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and
I win
mention-
because mine's bigger than all of yours.
Yeah. This is then and this is now, I guess.
I
you know.
saw that at a record store the other day, and it was sitting on the counter at Zap Records in Coburg. And I said to him, "Oh, how much is that?" It was $27 or something. I went,
Ridiculous.
"Chance in hell, I'm buying that."
The Beatles
Mine,
need the money, Glenn.
Mine looks just like Alex's.
I'll wait until I find it for like $5 somewhere down the road.
In and out of there.
No,
That's
I'm gonna.
7 inch.
I mean, I think Glenn is probably gonna jump on the ship too, but I've got to mention this. Bobby D. I saw Bob twice, last month, in a week, that was kind of a goal of mine at some point in my life, was to go to a couple of Bob Dylan shows very close to each other. And it just so happened he was in Virginia 2 days a week. And I saw him in Richmond, then I saw him in Roanoke, and he did this song. He did Gotta Serve Somebody from this album, which he did, when I saw him last year on his Rough and Rowdy Ways tour. And somebody was asking earlier in the chats about, an artist that does their new stuff. And I'm kind of, in agreement. I think it was Alex. I was saying, if you want to see a greatest hits, just listen to the record. When I saw Bob, I know Glenn saw him a few weeks before I did. He did 9 out of the 10 songs on his newest record, Rough and Rowdy Ways. All 3 times that I've seen him on the tour, he did the same 9 out of 10 songs. He had 1 song variant between last year and this year. But just to see Bob at 82 years old perform at the level that he's performing, and a buddy of mine went to the show in Roanoke and texted me, and he's seen Dylan probably 8 or 9 times. He said that was the best he's ever seen him, and he was seeing Bob, 20 years ago. So it's just incredible that people are still saying he's putting on the best shows of his life, and it kind of goes back to the 7 Psalms thing with Paul Simon. The fact that Dylan's putting out the output that he's putting out at 82 is just incredible. So that was a huge highlight, was seeing Bob twice, once solo and then once with my dad in town. So Bob Dylan is definitely, as he always is, a highlight in my year. Yeah. So I'm sure Glenn can expound on that. I'm sure that was on his talking points as well.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Jason.
Okay, so this is kind of a different one, but ultimately, I think this year I was super fortunate. I'm not going to name names and all that kind of stuff, but I was pretty much granted access, and I still kind of do, to a beautiful record collection that I've scored. Geez, I might have 100 albums now over time from this lovely lady that lives about half hour from me, and her husband, who's passed, had curated this amazing collection of music, and a total kindred spirit musically. Everything he liked, I like, and it's been a battle to not bring stuff more home, right? I'm trying to be as choosy as I can, but I've had access to this wonderful collection, and it's really whatever. It's records, and they're in pretty, I think everything I brought home obviously is in decent shape. I wouldn't have brought it home if it wasn't, but I just took a selection of a few that I've gotten that I've really probably spun more than any others that I've brought home. Like I said, I've brought home anywhere from 50 to 100 from this place, and some of the ones that I really liked was the Unhalf Bricking from Fairport Convention. I spend that a lot.
That's a great record.
I really got, and I you know what? I'm late to the Black Sabbath game, but I got that from them too. And that freaking album, my God, is this ever a friggin' masterpiece?
Yeah, it's a good album.
Just an incredible album. Not really being into the heavier stuff, so I was never searching out Black Sabbath by any means. I knew the hits, obviously, like everyone does, and I put that on, and it was kind of I wouldn't say it's like Dark Side by any means, but it is an experience of an album altogether, right? It's very good. And then I credit, and I think I've talked about this on a couple of videos, I credit Mazzy with turning me on to this idea of the early Steve Miller Band albums. And I got 2 of the ones that I wanted, right? So I got Sailor and I got Brave New World.
Awesome.
And I listened, especially Brave New World. I put that on, and I don't know how many times I've spun the Spaceman or Space Cowboy track and whatever the last track's called. And then I got, and I'm thinking of Steve, and I talk about this, the Deep Purple, Book of Taliesin, right? So that's another great one. And then the album Free, Tons of Sobs.
That's a tough record to find. I've been looking for that for a while, Jason.
Yeah, I friggin' love this album. Those first 2 tracks, the first track is a minute long. It's Over the Green Hills, and then it breaks into the song Worry. Those 2 back to back, it feeds right into it. Holy shit, have I ever? That's probably the most played track of the year in my living room.
What a great album!
Sure.
What a great band!
Unreal. Yeah, and a Canadian connection too. That Paul Rogers guy. I think he wasn't born in Canada, and he was a citizen later. There's some kind of Canadian connection there. Anyway, so highlight of the year for me musically was definitely, and I still still have some more work to do out there. I want to go through and get some more albums. But, you know, her late husband was an avid collector. He opened a record store, you know, decades ago. And of course, that's kind of stopped now, obviously. But anyway, it's given me access to tons of new music, like new old music. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. And there's still so much I need to hear that's out there.
I'm going back to fighting with Steve. I disagree.
Steve, get up here, Steve.
I saw Jackson Browne for the first time in 1972 at Massey Hall with David Lindley playing guitar in the band, and it was a freaking awesome concert. I saw him in Cleveland a few years ago with a great band, and Steve Earle was at and Kev Moe were part of the concert, and they all came out and played together. I totally disagree with you, Steve. Sorry. Great show as always. Gotta run. Good night, everyone. Good night, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
See you, Jim. Later, Jim. Even Dylan's whiskey is a bootleg version. I have 2 bottles of Dylan's whiskey upstairs. Fantastic stuff.
See you Sunday. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm on that. Oh.
Shadow Kingdom was a yeah. James, I'm right there with you, buddy. Sam, one day a fan should gift you those Teenage Fan Club albums I told you about. I like the new Teenage Fan Club album a lot. Black Sabbath debut. I have found new respect for Jason. Yeah, that's a great album.
Thanks, Steve.
Your camera really loves you, Jason. It keeps creeping right up.
God, what is? I don't know how to fix this.
Laura Secord on the cover of Black Sabbath, very spooky. Steve Miller's excellent. Saw him last year. See, I don't like the Steve Miller Space Cowboy and all that stuff, but I like Sailor. I like the stuff with Boz Scaggs in the band, like the early.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Space Cowboy, like is a song off the Brave New World album, but everyone knows the term Space Cowboy from Miller's later work.
Oh, okay. It's not the Joker. I've never heard that album.
Yeah.
No, but check out the Brave New World album. The song Space Cowboy is like a total hook of the album, right?
What was it?
Yeah, Paul Rogers married a girl from DC. That's right.
I saw Steve Miller with Marty Stewart back in 2019. Marty Stewart opened.
Oh my God, Steve, get off of it!
Take your shirt off and go to bed, Steve.
I'm gonna bring.
Yeah, we should get Steve on so we can kick him off.
Oh Jesus, I should ban him, but I don't know how to bring him back. So
No, we love Steve,
we do love Steve. He's an awesome dude.
even if he's wrong.
Okay, who's up? Alex.
Alex.
Well,
between that Gringo guy and Larry,
I just want to get a quick shot. I mean, I think for the younger people, so this is everybody except Glenn. No offense. I'm
glad to be in that group.
You're welcome, Rob.
Thanks.
I guess as somebody my age who kind of consistently feels like the best years of music are 50 years ahead of him or behind him, I guess, whatever, like 50 years ago. There's this element of me that, although a very, very different experience than maybe you, Glenn, and a different experience than everybody else here as well, I just think it's the coolest damn thing that we got, quote unquote, new music from these 2 freaking artists this year. Regardless of how you feel about it, Glenn, I know you're going to be like, I'm allergic to dust.
It's all the dust.
Listen.
Excuse me.
It's just the coolest. I mean, that's something I never would have thought would have existed, and I just think it's great. And so,
yeah.
A quick shout out there. This won't mean anything to anybody.
Giving the Rolling Stones some motivation to make a record.
Glenn, I think you should just why are you trying to yuck other people's yum? All right? Don't yuck other people's yum. This won't mean anything to anybody except me. And if there's anybody in the comments or watching that you're like, oh, I know that, then great. This was a big year because I guess it was at this point several months ago. Some of you might know my favorite band of all time is a progressive metal band named Dream Theater. they they've been around since the early or late 80s, early 90s. I've seen them in concert a number of times, but I distinctly remember 13 years ago, in 2010, their drummer, founding member, and probably one of the only like drummer / front men in the history of music, left the band, and it just kind of broke a lot of the fan base. It broke me as a fan. And although the band went on and made some great albums since, and I've seen them since, and they've been great, it just hasn't been the same at all for me, or for a lot of people. And so a shout out Mike Portnoy, who is the original drummer, my favorite drummer of all time. He rejoined the band about a month and a half ago. Original member. Everything feels right in the world. People are very excited. They're about to be in the studio come the first of the year. And so for me, I was like, that was like such a huge musical moment in my personal life. Was you have a favorite band, you have a favorite member of that band who rejoins the original band after being gone for 13 years. It's just awesome. And my last kind of quick shout out is, some of you, I don't know if you feel this way or if you think about it this way, but you fall in love with a band that is so far outside of your like not comfort level, but what you would typically listen to, right? So like I'm a classic rock guy, hard rock guy, get into some heavier stuff, some metal stuff. But there's certainly stuff that I'm not, into. Like I'm not going to listen to the latest pop records or the latest, I don't know.
Except for
sure, you're right, Rob. Except for Taylor Swift. I forget how this came about. This is not a genre I'm typically into or care about, but I streamed this record on recommendation, and I just found myself just being fully in it. It falls within, I guess, like the shoegaze / dream pop / whatever that genre is that people want to call it. And it's the band Slow Dive. This was their record from this year called I don't know what it's called. It doesn't matter. Everything is fine. Everything is all right. Love is everything. I don't know.
What did they call them? Slow Dive?
Slow Dive. One word, Slow Dive. They're a British band, early 90s.
Foghat.
Sam, just shut the fuck up.
That's an angry chat tonight.
It's the end of the year, yeah.
I got a lot of great people. You're gonna do all of it.
This is like just purely, it's like there's no guitar solos, there's no, but like this is atmospheric and ambient and just I don't know. As soon as I heard this the first time, I went and bought all their shit. Luckily for me, it's only like 5 records, but I was like, I need all of this. I don't even know really how to. It's nothing like anything else I listen to. But I love it. It's great stuff. I'm not a drug user, but if I was, I would be taking them every night and listening to this every night in that way. So yeah, that's
My
it.
gummies are kicking in. Steve he's still on my ass tonight. Saying a copy of Fragments the other day, Glenn. Just saying. I listened to the Fragments box set. I like it, especially the first disc. I listened to it a lot. Sam was joking. He didn't detect any dust.
No, there was actually literal dust on your box set.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But box sets could get dust on them. Even when you take the things out and put it, there's still dust can get on the top of them just sitting.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't play what's inside. I'm not defending myself to you knobs. The Stones needed new material for their new concert. Running out of material.
That's funny.
The Stones have been doing Dirty since they put out the thing. Hackneyed Diamonds is very good. I'm sure it's fantastic. It's just not for me. That's all.
Glenn just hates rock and roll.
No, I just know.
Lady Gaga.
Rolling Stones, it won't be Hackneyed Diamonds. So why would I buy it?
I will say, did you see?
How dare a woman be on my Rolling Stones?
I have never said that album sucks. Not once. Will you ever hear me say that's a horrible album? I've never even heard it.
Did you see that the Stones they have a deluxe version of that album coming out with like that live concert? That's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
It's coming out like in February.
They'll be bringing out different colors pretty soon.
I was just sitting here thinking, as you guys are talking about Hackney Diamonds that I don't give a shit about. Can you imagine if somebody, woke up from a 30-year coma and they find out that the Stones have a new album and the Beatles have a new single in the same month?
Yeah.
And you go, wow, I wasn't asleep for that
you went into
long.
a coma in 1970. You'd never even know they ever split up.
Precisely. It's kind of bizarre when you think about it.
It's awesome. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Saw Dream Theater open for Iron Maiden.
It's true, and that was the year Dream Theater opened for Iron Maiden in 2010, and Mike Portnoy left that year right after that tour.
We've been really cutting the mustard. Thanks, Dan. I think Mick, Keith, Paul McCartney, and Ringo should form the oldest supergroup and get the Pens to sponsor a world tour.
So here's a question:
the Incontinence Tour.
What are y'all hoping for in 2024? Is there anything because we're coming up on 2 hours here. Or is there anything that you're hoping for?
I'm hoping Bob Dylan comes back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure. Hope I get to go see a couple of good concerts, whatever they might be. But I don't have anything in particular.
Yeah, I'm really upset that I missed 2 at Massey Hall. That would have been big grails for me, and that was My Morning Jacket played Massey Hall, and so did Lord Huron.
This year?
Geez, come on, Jason.
I had a friend from Virginia. Her and her mom flew up to Canada to see Lord Huron there.
What a friggin' venue that must have been to see those 2 groups, man.
I'm sure Sam will go live after this. Oh, Sam's or John will.
Glenn,
do you know who in the VC shares the most similar taste in music to you? I think Mazzy. Probably.
Yeah.
At least Glenn himself doesn't have much dust on him. Oh, I got lots of dust.
He showers every day, though.
Yeah. Every band should have a banjo player waiting on standby. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's your thing.
Highlight this year album, Hackney Diamond song Now, and the box set Who's Next, Lifehouse. The new Neil Young album, Before and After. I hear it's really good.
I'm interested in that. I mean, he puts out 5 records a month, but
I know that's what's kind of turned me off about him. But I hear this one seems to be getting a lot of good. But again, it's almost the same thing for me. If I get caught in this Neil Young trap, I keep buying all this new stuff, and then when I want to listen to Neil Young, I'm putting on Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, and that the new one sits on the frickin' shelf. I got a ton of Neil Young I never listened to.
I know. Neil is so great. It's almost admirable that he keeps putting shit out because it's obviously not for money. It's like, well, it is for money, but it's also like, it's not, there's no strategy there marketing wise. Yeah. It's just like, I'm just going to throw everything I got out at you before I'm dead. That's my take on it. It's like, I got all these old tapes. Let's put it out. Yep. He gets Bellman to put it out, and every album sounds fantastic that he puts out.
Yeah.
It is kind of nice that they're putting out these Jethro Tull box sets again because they are all fantastic. And for people who didn't get a chance to get them the first time around, I think they just did Aqualung again. I mean, these are just incredible.
I need Aqualung. I can't believe I haven't picked up.
Steve, you might kill me. This isn't recommended. The Who's Life. Yeah, I think that's probably the box set of the year, and I couldn't afford it. So
I have it on CD. I have yet to listen to it.
New Paul record in 2024. That's what people are saying.
Except he put out that McCartney 3, another like a 30-year anniversary edition.
He pissed a lot of people off about that.
Glenn has seen the Stones enough, and I'm not going to see him in 2024. I saw him when they were seeing.
I signed up for pre-sale, and it just I couldn't do it. There was nowhere close. It was just gonna be too much money.
I saw him in 1972 on the Exile tour, and for about $5. So. Not good enough for me. I'm hoping Rubber Soul box set would be cool. I'm interested in the Lennon Mind Games set when it comes out.
Isn't it? That's officially announced, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Getty is talking about Rush.
That would be a good thing in 2024. Let's see Getty and
Alex.
Alec back on the road.
Yeah. Thanks to the algorithms, I just picked up on a video of a combination of different Neil Peart interviews. My God, that guy was brilliant, man. I'm not like a Rush poser fan. I don't know a lot about Rush. I know their hits, and I wasn't even a fan until I saw a documentary kind of explaining the band and basically like describing them as like 3 ultra accomplished musicians that, you know, stuck it out, got together, and just kept putting out good music. Didn't have a clue how great they were, and I watched that documentary, and I totally did a 180 on them, and now they're great. But don't own anything yet, but someday.
I was gonna say I don't know a lot about Rush, but for those of you that do, I mean, I know Glenn saw them in the bars in Canada. Which of the three members of the main three guys, which of them was the best musician?
Got to be Pierre. Got to be Pierre, eh?
Neil.
I think Geddy Lee is incredible.
Because Geddy did the piano.
I mean, Geddy's playing. To me,
I
Geddy.
think they're also
like, I mean, Neil Peart. I mean, he's
forget
a
is that like
percussionist.
each of
There's no
them
doubt
have their
about
own.
it. And Alex is a great guitar player, but Geddy's got to play a bass. He's singing all these complicated songs.
And
He's
and
working
keyboard.
50 million pedals at the same time, playing the most complicated bass. I played bass for a while and tried to pick up some of his bass lines. They're freaking impossible.
And Geddy plays with just he just plays with his index finger too, by the way.
Unbelievable. Like
on the
that.
bass.
Try and
Yeah.
Magic Finger.
one of his bass lines.
Yeah, he's like ET over there, just like
And he's doing all those at once. I'm just going, the guy has like 10 brains.
But Sam, to answer, I mean, there's no good way to answer it. They're all. I wouldn't go, one way or the other about who's the best or whatever. I think without any of them, it would be not them.
Well,
but what's
it's like-
interesting about Neil Peart, and I love Neil Peart. I mean, he's
Good
one of my
answer.
favorite drummers of all time. But you could argue that as incredible as his drumming is, his biggest impact on the band was he was the primary songwriter. He was the lyricist.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, is that he wasn't just drums for him. He was the lyricist.
Well, that's kind of like comparing the guys in Queen, because all those guys had number one
Yeah.
hits. All four of them had number one hits,
And Glenn loves Queen. He could talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
almost as much as ABBA
And Aerosmith.
Mm.
and Jackson Brown.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jack Brown.
Okay. I'm we got time for one more round, maybe. I don't know. It's 5 minutes left. Maybe we don't.
Do a
So-
lightning round.
Quick
Maybe
mention a lightning round. So
talk about-
my
talk about
top
the channel.
two, we're going to be Bob Dylan focused.
Yeah.
First of all, seeing Bob at Massey Hall was absolutely incredible. The sound's great. Just to see him in a venue like that was really just magical for me. I definitely tied for my highlight of the year. What tied me for that is going to Tulsa to the Bob Dylan Center. Just almost like a religious pilgrimage. It was so fantastic, and
I knew you'd say
with Steve and Randy Nelson was so cool, and my daughter Andrea as well, and something I'll never forget. That was just really, really a special few days. So that's mine. So
Yeah.
we'll let Rob tell us about your channel and give us one more.
Okay. Obviously, my favorite event of the year was the new Beatles song. The Red and Blue albums are cash grab, and I think they suck.
Whoa.
No, I mean they're a cash grab, and I think they're pointless. But that's just my opinion, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
At least one.
Exactly.
Rob
right?
and I agree on that one.
But for me, I think the story of the year, aside from, the Beatles thing supersedes everything else, but we don't need to talk about it because everyone's talked about it a million times. For me, it was the year of Taylor Swift. You can like her, not like her. I don't give a shit. It's, I think she's great. 2 re-record albums. She did this Long Pond Studios recording, which was awesome. The Eras Tour is a $1 billion grossing 3.5-hour extravaganza. I don't care if you like her music or not. The point is that someone does something like that and is bringing so many people into music, and then she's taken that and parlayed that into a film that has changed arguably how movie distribution has done. She's the woman of the year for a reason, and as a Taylor fan, I love the shit that she's putting out and looking forward to the stuff she puts out next year.
Especially after that breakup.
Right.
Before the next person starts, I just want to say, so it looks like Steve and I are back on the same page at the end of the night. I love you, Steve. Geddy, I was saying the same thing. It's just what he does all at once is just.
And to quickly plug my channel was the other half of your instruction.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm getting close to 1,000. So anyone, if you wouldn't mind, throw me hit a subscribe. That would be wonderful. Alex and Jason and I recorded an episode for the Vinyl Community Podcast.
It was very good. I watched it.
The video is up on my channel. The audio is going up on the podcast channel next week. It was supposed to be this week, but it's going to be next week. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sam.
Last memory, I would say, and I know like when we were discussing about, what kind of topics we want to talk about, artists that we were getting back into or artists that we were, reintroduced to. I'm gonna go with Nick Lowe.
Oh, good.
And I bought a lot of the new Nick Lowe reissues that came out on Yep Rock Records. I saw Nick probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, here in town, and it was a great show. Him at the Low Stray Jackets, and when I saw my buddy Tommy in North Carolina, I picked up a Record Store Day Christmas reissue, Christmas live album that he did that I'll show at for my December vinyl finds. But this is The Rose of England. It's an album that he did with his band. One of the members is Paul Carrick, who toured with Mike and the Mechanics and Squeeze. But Ringo. So getting him back into Nick Lowe was really cool. Again, I bought a lot of his records. I'm trying to be a completist with Nick Lowe, trying to get everything he had. It was great seeing him live, and he's just a great songwriter, great power pop guy. Obviously, he was Elvis Costello. He worked with Huey Lewis a little bit.
Sorry, Rob, have you got Hack Diamond sitting beside you or something?
Yeah, I do.
He's hacking up
the
diamonds.
computer screen.
But no, my channel. Again, thanks to everybody. I hit the 1,000 mark on Sunday.
Golf clap.
Thank you. And it's crazy because like even since then, like I think I'm at 1,012 now, which is crazy.
Whoa.
So
almost at 2,000.
That's a good buffer whenever YouTube just knocks you.
It's a good buffer. Yeah, it's really good. It's cool to see the 1.01 on the channel. But no, I appreciate
the cackling Grangillo has already unsubscribed to me.
He has. Yeah. Cheers to you, sir.
Yeah, you were at 1,013.
No, I did a thank you video. It came from the heart. I kind of just rambled a little bit, and that it's a long video. You don't have to watch it, but I put one up. I know I've got a couple of projects that are kind of in the works. I'm hopefully going to be working with Glenn very soon on a Bob Dylan related video. So stay tuned for that. When we iron out some details on that, it harkens back to when Glenn and I first met with our Glenn and Sam show that we did on his channel. I know I'm hoping to work with Brian over at Massey's Main Entertainment. I think we're going to do a video very soon. And Rich Strickler, I'm hoping to get him out of retirement. We're talking a little bit about doing something on his channel. So awesome. A lot of stuff happening probably going into the new year. So stay tuned. I've got a couple of new videos. I've got a contest entry coming up tomorrow for Tony at 2 from the Trunk. And like I said, I've got a very heartfelt thank you for everybody. I mentioned all of you guys in that video if you haven't seen it. So check that out. But again, thank you to everybody in the chat and to you four fellows as well for getting me to 1,000. It's been
Sam, just when you brought up us doing the thing on Dylan, December, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after between Christmas and New Year's on the 28th. I don't know if everybody's going to be around to do the chats. I'm available, but that night I can't do it on the Wednesday night. So I'm hoping, Rob, you will host.
Yeah, I'll host. That's no problem.
On the 28th.
Yep.
And then Sam, if you're available that week, we could do our Dylan thing sometime that week.
On the just after Christmas, yeah,
like 27th to the 30th or something.
Yeah, I've got nothing going on that week. Yeah,
cool.
You're gonna skip the stream to make your own video.
What's that?
You're gonna skip the stream to make your own video.
No, see, on StreamYard, I'm only allowed so many hours a month, and I gotta work that Wednesday night, so I can't host. So I won't even be there.
You should be invoicing us then, Glenn.
Yes. So
forget that. He should be paying us. What are you talking about?
I'm going to have extra room on my video stream that week because I won't be able to host on Wednesday. So
you should do video idea for you and Sam with the Bob Dylan stuff. And maybe this is what you're going with. You should set some parameters and then each of you do a dream set list.
That would work.
That's a
build
great
your
idea.
build your own concert
Yeah,
set
we,
list.
we got an idea in
That's a
mind.
good
We'll see,
Wednesday
but
night
we can
idea.
talk. I'm open
Choose an artist and
to
build your
switch
set
things
list.
up. Anyway, Jason, enough about us.
I don't have anything new. I'm sorry, I'm busy. However, a big shout out, and I guess my other, thing about 2023, and this is kind of stepping on Alex's one from earlier, but I started a channel, and I took a while to do it, and there was a lot of great support to do it. So a massive shout out to Rob and to Chance and to Steve Westman, 3 guys that were always like, "Hey, why aren't you doing this? Like, just do it, just start recording, and just don't worry about it." And just like Alex said, like, I'll just repeat everything he said. The fact that I don't know, like I don't have anyone else I can nerd out with on this level. So getting into the VC in this way has been very good for my mental health. Like just the connection element of it all. I get a hell of a lot out of this. I took a time off work to come here tonight to try to just connect with you guys. And anyway, so like I and Glenn and Sam and Rob and now Alex, like you guys kind of embracing me in this element.
Oh yeah.
A heartfelt thanks. Like it actually goes a hell of a long way for me and means a hell of a lot to me. And I look forward to this and our little, me sending stupid shit in the Instagram chat all the time. I get a lot of kicks out of this, and and I love making the content, but it's this level of interaction and still firing stuff in the comments and other people's channels that I really enjoy. So this was a great year for me musically because I was able to connect with fellow nerds.
Oh yeah, we love you, Jason.
That's awesome. Yeah,
You're
genuinely.
the man, Jason.
Echo what Jason says. I love all you guys so much, and I look forward to this every week. It's a highlight of my week. You guys are amazing. Really are.
Awesome.
Oh,
2024 is gonna be cool.
Yeah. I'll I just posted God, I guess a couple hours ago. Concert review. Rob, thanks for dropping that comment in there. I appreciate you. I also wanted to give you a shout out, Rob. You didn't comment on it, but I know it's in your heart and soul that you were thinking it. Who's this Alex guy with his editing skills? Look at him.
I know, right? Phenomenal.
Not bad, right? That's my second edit ever. Because
Wow.
the first one I said something a little bit not appropriate, but for this one I was like, "Ooh, this is cool. I could put a video in there." And you know what? Unlike your 5-second Bryan Adams bit, I haven't gotten a copyright claim. So we'll see. But yeah, I think my next video I'm going to do, and feel free to steal this idea because that's what we do in the VC, as it were. As Steve so eloquently says, there are no original ideas, just original people. I'm going to do, I think this weekend or leading end of this week into the weekend, 5 new bands for people who love old bands. So
That's great.
Nice.
That's a really
yeah. So go ahead,
topic.
steal that and steal the subs. 151 going strong.
I'll be putting that out tomorrow.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, feel free to stop by, have a beer, and
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
join. Sponsored by Hennigan's. So
Yeah.
it can be our little secret.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
John, is John doing a stream after this? John, I want to keep drinking and talking. Let's go. Get the stream going.
This
John.
is my last beer this is the last beer in my fridge. So
John, are you going to start a chat tonight?
Is that because you got
go.
company coming over, Sam? Is that why it's your last beer?
right, I'm waiting for Alex to get here tomorrow night. Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to drink so much you're gonna have to head to church tomorrow, Sam.
All right.
All right,
fellas.
Hey guys,
Wow.
great
This is
night.
awesome. Fun time.
See you next Tuesday. Everyone have a great week. Thanks so much. Everybody's watching. It was funny, when we're fighting with that Gringo guy and with Steve about Jackson Brown, we had like 40 viewers, and now that we're all loving each other, we got 24.
Love doesn't sell.
Shows what sells, right?
Not
Yeah,
the Gringo.
John, we'll see you on your live stream. Yeah.
John says maybe trying to get my daughter to sleep, so we have to stay tuned. Nate, check
Don't worry
John's
about her.
channel in about a half an hour and see if he's.
We might spill over there. Yeah. It's a good night.
Good night. Great show. Thanks, everybody.
This
Have a
was
great night.
fun. Seriously.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
See you guys.
Take care.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.